How's it going, everyone? It is October 14th, 2019, and this is Thriving Bulls Trade of the Day. How's it going, everyone, and good morning or afternoon, wherever you guys come from. We are looking at /YM, or the mini Dow Jones futures here. We are seeing some interesting momentum here. We have this upwards movement to down, to up, to down, back up to set. So what I'm seeing here is that we have a nice, basically a triple top. And as we see on this triple top here, we have a high here, then a low, and this low is actually matching around this low here, as you can see. So what we'll possibly see here is that we have a nice range from here to here, and then from here to here. And we have this nice range that's going back and forth, back and forth. But what I could possibly see happen is that we are going to possibly see price hit set, which is what it's doing now. We are definitely oversold, or overbought rather. We're going to go back into the 15. We're definitely overbought into the 15. This is what our expiry is for around noon. I placed that there just to kind of see what we've got going on. Let's go ahead and go into the indices. I apologize for that. Let's go into the indices and see what we have. We have a 19-minute. That's just a little too soon. Let's go ahead and go into the 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We're going to look at a possibly out of the money contract here, just because I think this is going to start to drop, which is what it's doing now. We're going to go ahead and do that. Let's see, it's at 63. I'm liking that. Let's go ahead and do this for 100. So our potential profit is 6,300, or 6,200 rather. So we're out of the money. We have an out of the money contract here. So we're looking for price to go below this right here at expiry. So that's what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and see what else we have available. Maybe we can get in on a smaller contract level. This is a nice in the money as well. Since it's right at this level, I think we'll go ahead and get that one as well at market. If it hits at around 50 again, we'll get that one for 50. If it gets to 50, we'll go ahead and put the limit order in for 50. All right, 47.75 as of right now. We're probably about to hit it here. And then we'll have two positions. If we don't get filled on that one, that's totally fine. Basically, what we could potentially make is 2,500 on this one if we hit 50 and it closes below that one, below this price. But we're going to wait until to see if we get filled. Let's see here. NADEX just kind of refreshed itself. Let's see. Just seeing if we're going to get filled on this particular one. We might, but maybe not. Let's go ahead and go back into Thinkorswim and see what we're looking at. So this was the noon, so we're going to go ahead and put this where it actually is. So this is where we're actually, our expire is here. I just wanted to see exactly where we'd be as far as that trade there. So we had a lot of upward momentum here. Now what we have not yet seen is a nice V formation, basically a carrot formation coming up and then maybe coming back down to retest the 50. So let's go ahead and put a Fibonacci level from this swing low up to this swing high and see what we're looking at. We see that price came down to 23.6, tested that level to come back up for set. We see that levels at 50 have 2 wicks here, then a breakout had to occur. We can see that there's wick action at the 61.8. We see that the 0.5 deviation as well as a bunch of POCs are in between 61.8 and 78.6. So I think that we're going to be able to see a nice downward momentum coming down to possibly retest probably the 50. It's just not wanting to, you know, when you learn about value area boxes here, you can see that typically the percentage of the time when market opened, it came up and almost tested the top to come right back down, tested the down, tested about halfway, came down, tested the value area low, came down, tested, now it's testing value area box again. So what we'll probably see is either a breakout to the upside or a breakout down to the downside. But I'm thinking we'll probably see a breakout down to the downside. So I think that we'll be fine. The biggest thing is this formation. If we go into the 5 minute, you can really see it. You can see that there's a nice triple top here, or a nice pattern for a potential downside. So you can see that we had price come up, then price came down, then price came up, the price came down, the price came up, and then obviously what we could consider happen is the price is going to go down and hopefully break these 2 points, and then we'll see that. That's what we're hoping for. So if we can see that, that'd be very, very, very good for us. Let's go ahead and see where we're at on NADEX. We did not get filled on the other position. That's totally fine. We're in profit on this other one. Let's go ahead and see where we're at. Let's see, we're at 26,795, 26,795. So we'll go ahead and put that in 26,795, which is right there. We'll go ahead and put that in. Make this a NADEX sell. Blue dashed 4. All right, so that's our sell. So we're hoping that we're going to see price come down below until before we hit this expiry here. I'm thinking that this is going to be a good trade. I'm not going to put a pending order in for this particular one because I just have a pretty good confidence that this trade is going to be a winner. We have over an hour, but I think that we're going to see that this momentum is going to go down into here. Let me see here. Because we have this hour, we have price really almost stagnant. It's been stagnant for quite some time, just going up, down, up, down, up, down. If we don't close past here, that's not going to be good for us. If we pass, if price comes down and closes past this level, we'll go ahead and draw it. Nice horizontal line. If price closes past that level, that's good news for us. That's really, really good news for us if price closes down past that level. That's pretty much where our zone is as far as our strike. So let me see. Just looking to see if there's any other potential selling orders that we could potentially take, but I'm just not seeing them. We are getting close to the lunchtime over there in the Eastern Standard Time or New York area, so that's probably why we're seeing a lot of stagnant areas. But what I'd like to see is for price to come up and then like it's done, and then come right back down and possibly test this level. So this is our halfway point, is right about here, where you can see that price wicked on here, wicked here, wicked here, wicked here. I mean, we can see that this is pretty much halfway from 0 to 100. Let's go ahead and go into the 10-minute on NADEX and see what we've got going on here as well. Yeah, I'm feeling confident just because we had hit this point, failed, hit this point, failed. We're about hitting that point, and we have failed again. So I'm thinking that we're going to see a nice drop off. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and we'll come back to see what happens. All right, so I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and close out this trade here. I'm just not liking how price is acting right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. And now we have our 26,819, which is all the way up here. We got it for 50. So we did end up getting that that strike, which is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that sell. So now we just need to stay below this price, which I'm definitely thinking we will, because it's sitting right on set. And we know that there's not only set is there, but we also know that that we have, if it will let me draw it, let me go ahead and close. Let me just remove this. We also have price is sitting on 78.6 from the swing high to swing low. Let's go into the go ahead in the 15. We can see that price has just been, it's consolidating. It's just not wanting to go down. But I'm still believing that we're going to go down here. We are still very, very much overbought, which is still good for us. So we're going to go ahead and go into the 1 minute, see where we're at. So all we just need to do is just stay below this line here by this line here. So we roughly have about 53, 52 minutes left. Yep, 52 minutes. So I'm thinking that, and if we close out for expiry on this particular trade because we put in 50 at 50, then what we will potentially make is the full amount. So what we would do is go into our calculator, do 50 times 50, and we'll make $2,500. That's what it will that we'll make. It will say 5,000, but it's that's what we risked. And so it's a 1-to-1. It's an exact 1-to-1. So that was our risk on that one. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video, and then we'll come back. I'm really thinking that this trade is going to go into our favor. I just don't think that there's any reason for us to be closing out for the half of the full potential, because I just don't see anything that's really showing that we are going to be breaking out to the upside. Let's go ahead and make a trend line here as well. Just kind of get an idea. Nothing's really happening there. Let me go ahead and do another one from this point to this point. As you can see, we did break out of this trend line here, but it's just not wanting to move. So let me see what else we have going on. That could show us exactly what's happening. Go ahead and draw a nice rectangle. Nope, not a pitchfork. We want a rectangle from here to here. So what I basically did was I drew a point from this high to this low. So that's going to give us another indication here. So now that we know our price that we want to stay away from is also $819, which is right there. So we can edit that, make it nice and thick, make it blue so it's nice and noticeable. All right, perfect. So even though it's even on price, we can't really see it, but if we go into the 1 minute, we'll be able to see it from there. So now we can really have an idea as what we can see here. So we might be bouncing off of this trend line. That's also might be what's happening here. As you can see, we have a bounce off, a bounce off, a bounce off. It's now turned into support. It was resistance. It turned into resistance here, and then it turned into support, then turned to resistance, now support. So now we're bouncing off of it as support. So we could be seeing that as well. But we still have about 49 minutes left. We're about $1,100 in. We're getting really close to our halfway point. Our halfway point should be at 1,250, which is really close to that. So we could go ahead and close out for half of the full potential, but I'm still thinking that this is going to be closing below this line here once we get into the expiry at 49 minutes. Everything is just showing that this price is going to move down. We have not yet seen any real downward momentum from where the bulls came in to play this morning all throughout the day. So we should be seeing that. Another big thing that could be happening is because it is Columbus Day here in the States. We could be seeing that as well. As you can see, we have a nice moving average here, a 9 moving average, and even though that's a 9 moving average, it's just really kind of showing you the overall trend of this market. But sometimes you'll see that the price will kind of hug on these prices. You can kind of get an idea, and price is just kind of sitting there resting upon it. You can really see it if I zoom in. You can see this blue line here, price is just resting upon it. So let's go ahead and go back into NADEX, see where we're at. Now, okay, now we're past our half of the full potential. Let's go ahead and zoom out. Back into let's go into a 5 minute here. All right, perfect. So we're still below this line, which is good. All we really need to see here is that price closes past this red line here. If price were to close past this line, that's going to be good because we see that it did not close here, did not close here, here, or here, or here. It took a breakout here, it took a breakout here, it took a breakout there. So we know that this level is very strong. So we have a closeout here. It's going to have some more support to break on this trend line. So, but we have a big range. If we were to go into a measuring tool within NADEX, and we were to measure from here to here, we have about 30. It looks like about 30 pips. that we have as far from that point to that point. So it's quite a big range. Not anything too crazy, but it is quite a big range. So it's about 30 pips that we have. So that should be fine. So we're going to go ahead and still pause the video and we'll come back once the trade has expired. All right, and we are back. As you can see, the trade has expired, and we can see that we stayed below that. We could possibly see that more momentum probably will go to the upside. We are just not seeing any sort of big sell-off that is predicted. That's just because we have the holidays coming around with Columbus Day. It's just a much slower market. Hopefully that you enjoyed this trade. If you guys have any questions or you'd like to sign up for our signals, please visit www.thrivingbull.com.